I have been reading from a spiritual book written by Father Ed Hayes, and it's entitled The Lenten Pharmacy, and he gives a reflection each day during the Lenten season. And today, I'd like just to share with you what he's written. He says the word excruciating is from the Latin excruciare, meaning of or from the cross. So if you have experienced any kind of physical or emotional pain that is excruciating, you know what that is like. From the cross. Crucifixion was invented by the Persians and adopted by the Roman Empire because it was the ultimate deterrent to disorder and rebellion, leading to a slow death with a maximum of pain and suffering. Crucifixion was the worst punishment possible. As such, it was reserved as a punishment for runaway slaves, soldiers who had deserted, and those who rebelled against the authority of Rome. Remembering the passion and death of Jesus invites us, those who suffer excruciating, remember, from the cross, excruciating pain of body or spirit, to rename this day Good Hope Friday. Father Hayes goes on to say, on this day of the cross, hope for the coming of the reign of God is also found in the words of the Lord Mayor of Cork, Ireland, Terence McSweeney, words which could have easily been spoken by the crucified Jesus. It is not those who can inflict the most pain, but those who can suffer the most who will in the end conquer. McSweeney was the Lord Mayor of Cork, Ireland, who spoke these words while imprisoned in 1920 by the British for making revolutionary statements. He died in prison after a 74-day hunger strike, which he endured for the sake of Irish independence. The political structure of the British Empire was as unmoved by his death as were the Roman authorities by the death of Jesus of Galilee. The heroic death of McSweeney became an inspiration for the Irish, much like the death of Jesus continues to inspire his disciples, his followers, each and every one of us here. The cross beckons us even today to labor always for the reign of God. Good Hope Friday celebrates the victory of those suffering excruciating pain who embrace with trust the conviction that their pain has meaning. So, that being said, Jesus, I think, as the ultimate scapegoat, and I think we have to understand that Jesus was the ultimate scapegoat. He said, you don't need to make scapegoats out of one another anymore. I am the ultimate, I am the last scapegoat. Quit trying to scapegoat other people. Quit trying to crucify other people. I have done this. I have taken what is dark, what is sinful, onto me. So Jesus, as the ultimate scapegoat, says to us as we will venerate the wood of the cross, he says, there's no need for you to crucify anyone anymore. Why do you do this? Jesus says, put down your hammers and nails and quit nailing one another to your crosses with war and greed and lying and stealing and cheating. Jesus says, quit nailing one another to your crosses, whereby you violate the dignity of those who are different from you, and treat others with respect, rather than seeing them, each and every person in front of us, as a creation of my Father. Jesus says boldly, I have taken upon myself the burden of the cross and your sinfulness. And he says no more. Rather, go out into the world where you are needed to bring healing and reconciliation. That is the meaning of the cross. Go out into the world. Do not scapegoat each other anymore. Do not crucify each other anymore. Bring reconciliation and justice and peace. Pope Francis, who has been through his own excruciating kind of pain for 5 weeks in a hospital in Italy, after being elected in 2013 said, "We must go out sacrificially and courageously to places where people are physically, psychologically, and spiritually wounded, and we must dress and heal their wounds." He talked about this shortly after being elected to the papacy. He described the church as being a field hospital. And so, let us be more conscious of Jesus, knocking deep from within our hearts, and respond and follow with the words of faith, hope, and love. Let us pray that we might be a soothing ointment for those who are wounded by the contagious diseases of intolerance and lack of love, those who harbor hate for one another. That's very difficult to do. As Mayor McSweeney of Cork, Ireland said in 1920, "It is not those who can inflict the most pain who will win, but those who can suffer the most who will, in the end, conquer." So let us pray that if we must, to suffer, and if we have to suffer excruciatingly, and as well to die for the sake of the gospel, we will be victorious and we will be with Jesus in paradise.